Depression. What is depression? We hear them talk about clinical depression and other types of depression. I'm depressed, he is depressed, I take to social media and I talk about depression. Am I pretending? Am I seeking attention? What is depression? Today, at Walk Tall with Shiba, we are going to go into detail talking to a psychologist and others about what depression is and how to see depression and how to support depression and how to deal with depression. We're situated here at Solani's Lounge, and this is Walk Tall with Shiba. The name is Bongani Shiba. This is Walk Tall. I am sitting with two gentlemen here. One is a gym enthusiast and a fitness instructor, Mr. Dennis van Reenen, and the other one is a clinical psychologist, practicing clinical psychologist, Mr. Sfiso Shabangu. Gentlemen, Sfiso, welcome. Maybe we can start with you and you can tell us just a little bit about what you do and how relevant you feel you can be discussing the topic of depression.
I'm a clinical psychologist. I practice in Manzini. We basically work with mental illness, depression just being one of the many, but it is just one that has come to the surface because of media coverage, social media, like you mentioned earlier. So people are more aware of this form of mental illness that is out there. So as a psychologist, what we do is we work with people who are going through this type of mental illness. I think I should stop there because I don't want to preempt a lot of things.
Thank you very much, Sfiso. And Dennis, welcome.
Thanks, Shiba.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me as Slim.
And I wonder why. There's no Slim there, but hey.
We're working on it.
Right, I like that.
Basically, I'm here because I came to you as a suggestion of trying to find a way to incorporate health and fitness in curing depression. There's coupled with that, having been around and being father, working and all of that sort of thing, I come across the depression topic quite a bit. So I'm just hoping to add some insights and hopefully maybe some solutions to what people are going through.
And I like you saying add some insights. That would say to me, Dennis, you have been somewhere in a position or a level of depression to be able to feel like you could actually add value based on experience, maybe?
It's very difficult to say. I do believe that I have experienced some levels of depression. It's not easy. There's a lot of pressure being father, husband, owning a company. One of the worst periods of my life was being retrenched and somewhat squandering the retrenchment money, which kind of put us in a bit of a bind. That was, I would probably say, that's one of the darkest periods of my life. And I think I did go through something, my form of depression. It never got, I never went to anybody to treat it.
Yeah.
Which I believe a lot of people actually do. They try and treat it themselves. But yes, I do believe that there has been some level of that in my life.
So Dennis talks about how he cannot say he went through depression because he didn't go to a professional. We are seeing a lot of people pointing out or putting up that they are going through depression. A while ago, somebody told me that they were going through clinical depression. And I said to myself, wow, why don't you go to the clinic then? Because I didn't understand what clinical depression is and what they had seen that would give them. Maybe we can start at the bottom. What is depression?
Okay. When we speak of depression, we're speaking of a mental illness that is from the get-go, and it's one of the depressive disorders that is out there. Much like we may hear a lot of people saying, I'm stressed, this, a lot of people now tend to say I'm depressed, you know, and they don't mean that in the clinical sense. And when we say clinical depression, we usually mean you have been to a professional and the professional has diagnosed you, and therefore you are clinically depressed. And so for us to say someone is clinically depressed, we look at certain symptoms, and when those are present for a certain period of time, we then say, okay, given that A, B, C, and D are present, and given that these things that we're mentioning have been present for this period of time, and the presence of those things is affecting your functioning socially, in terms of work, in terms of school, in terms of relationships, then we say you have the disorder.
Okay.
So some of the things that we look at, we say, okay, in the past 2 weeks, have you felt at least one of these two things, that you've had a depressed or sad mood for most of the day? Nearly every day. That's one of the criteria. And the other one is that, have you lost interest in pleasure or pleasurable activities? Something that we refer to as anhedonia professionally. So if this person is sad most days for most of the day, that's criteria one. At least one of those things must be present. Or it's either that, or there's that anhedonia, the state of not enjoying anything.
Like food doesn't taste good anymore.
It's in terms of, if, for example, this person enjoyed being with the friends on a Saturday, going out there to braai meat, and they don't want to do that anymore. Or they go there and they don't enjoy it, they're absent. And you all kind of have to say, hey, where are you? We're talking about this. Today you seem to be distant, or this person is not engaging with you in conversation. They are not enjoying themselves as they used to. So this disturbance must be a change from the usual way that they were. So you observe that if that has been present for about 2 weeks, we then look for these other symptoms that, okay, sleep. Are you sleeping? Your vegetative functions. How is your sleep? Is your sleep disturbed? Are you having insomnia, that you are not sleeping, or hypersomnia, that you are sleeping a lot during the day?
Okay.
Are you not eating? How's your appetite? Are you eating less, or are you eating more? The weight, those are your vegetative functions.
Hold on. So I'm gonna have to slow you down for the benefit of everyone at home who is like me. I thought when you have a problem with getting sleep, then it could be a sign. But you're talking about something I've never heard of now, hypersomnia, that you're sleeping too much. So wait, am I not getting rest? Isn't it a good thing that I can't sleep? Because now that means my brain is not playing tricks as it would if I am unable to sleep.
Okay, the trouble is that if you are getting too much sleep, and that is the hypersomnia, if you are supposed to be at work, you're supposed to be at school, you're supposed to be productive, working, or at school concentrating, but you're not because someone is in front of you and you're dozing off. You're supposed to be at your computer and you're dozing off. So that's the part that says it affects your functioning. Like you are not functional anymore because of the sleep. And you are oversleeping. The point of getting rest is just that, for your body to rest, for your mind to rest. So what that is essentially means is that your body is not resting, which is often an indicator that there's a lot on your mind. You are thinking a lot, you're processing a lot. And when we are asleep, usually those thoughts just die down and you just fall asleep. The moment you're aware of your thoughts, then you're awake.
Okay.
So
as in a situation where I'm waiting for my check, my payment check to clear, and it doesn't, and I get an email to say, "Oh, sorry, it's going to be delayed." My first thought is, this is depressing. So can I say after that time that this has plunged me into depression, or like you said, it must be 2 weeks at all times?
Yes, it must be a period, and feeling that way on its own does not equal depression. There's normal reactions to things that make us sad. That would make you sad, not getting your paycheck. It would make you sad, like Dennis mentioned, to lose your job and be retrenched. Those are normal reactions. You are feeling sad because of it. But the thing with depression is that the sadness becomes pervasive. It's prolonged. It's not just one event. And so you need these other symptoms to say that, okay, this person is depressed. We cannot just narrow it down to my check bouncing or my check not clearing. So we need these other ones, like you are sad, you are not sleeping, your appetite has gone, your weight, your ability to concentrate is diminished, so your performance at school, your performance at work, because you're not able to concentrate.
Thank you very much for watching, and please remember to subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Walk Tall with Shiba. Like the Facebook page, Walk Tall with Shiba. You may also see some of these postings. They will be on the ARC Multimedia Eswatini page. We are S Solanis, and we have just been talking to Dennis van Rienen and Sfiso Shabangu, the clinical psychologist from Gamanzini. Just before we close, remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. Men, please create a circle and talk your problems out. And to remember, if someone is going through depression, be a supporter, not a fixer. And lastly, if you're going to support, understand that you do not understand. This is Bongani Shiba of Walk Tall with Shiba.